Well done, Kate. Right then, welcome back to the channel. Manchester United have actually beaten someone at Old Trafford and apparently are now the form team in the Premier League. And I'm going to be honest with us, any United fan that's out there at the moment does not feel that, whether it's true or not. Didn't stop TalkSport, as it never does. Gabriel Bonlaho, it's going to be time for you to come on down very soon, my friend, because the absolute wibble coming out of this guy's mouth at the moment. Again, United are criticised more for actually winning games than teams who've gone to some of the people that have dropped points. Liverpool against Luton. More drama that United actually beat them and weren't great beating them than Liverpool who didn't beat them. Flabbergasted, honestly. And we're doing this, without so many players. And yes, we are playing crap, but the injuries absolutely make a difference. United are hanging on at the moment. And I'm also not seeing Onana talked about in the manner that he should be. But let's get into the 5 things, at least anyway. We got the job done against Luton. We picked up the 3 points. We keep it moving. Number 1, we struggled. Of course we did, right? I'm not going to sit here and deny that we struggled because we absolutely struggled. You know it and I both know it. And if you're new around these parts, do me a favour, hit the subscribe button. And if you've hit the subscribe button already, do the bell as well. How about that, shall we? So at this point, I think we should all be happy to win a game. And for all the people that are about to cry, standards, what happened to our standards? What happened to a bit of reality? The reality is we ain't what we used to be. And it's people screaming standards, which are putting unrealistic expectations on where we are, that are causing problems at the moment. We should beat Luton. We did beat Luton. Should we be better doing it? Yes. Does it matter if we're better doing it? No. It matters that we got 3 points, realistically. And yes, you would like to see some progression, ultimately, but you can't have everything, and I'll take the 3 points over anything. The first half was boring. I have actually seen it back now. The first half was boring. Yes, there were big chances, Højlund especially. But I like that he's getting into the areas, and I like that he's getting on the end of stuff. The goals are going to come for him. He's been a real find. The goals are going to start coming. And should there be a boring half against Luton from United's perspective? This is a championship level team, but they put themselves in a low block. They made it difficult. They came and tried to frustrate, and they nearly got what they wanted. It's very easy in those circumstances to beat a team playing off the back foot and ask the other team to go and make something happen than it is to sit back and react to stuff. It is what it is. Number 2. Now, this is a legitimate concern, though. Where's the goals? That entire forward 3. I mean, Højlund did actually get on the end of some stuff and was probably unlucky not to come away with a goal. But time and time again this season, where are the goals? Where are the goals? There are no goals. We're not scoring goals. Lindelof did excellently to get his goal, looked pretty good on the ball, made himself a big part of the build-up, over 100 passes he had to his name. Really well-struck finish from him at centre-half. Problem is, you can't help but look at that 1-0 and worry. We didn't really pepper them with chances. We had chances, but we had a few, not millions at all. Who's scoring the goals for us? Højlund's still yet to score in the league, despite, I think, having decent performances. Rashford, something's wrong and he looks a shadow of his former self. Anthony is all but useless. Sancho doesn't exist anymore. Garnacho, he was never really going to be, certainly this season, a guy that came on and scored goals. Where's the goals coming from? Very telling when you had Casemiro and McTominay were our leading scorers. Still our leading scorers. These are issues that we have to find out, and scoring goals requires the entire team. You can't just ask for an individual to light something up. You have to work together as a team, especially when you're playing teams that are going to sit back and low block against you. The big worry for United is who scores the goals? Because right now, Nobody is the answer. Number 3, second half improvements. Something a tiny little bit more positive, but the second half saw acres of improvement, I thought, in a couple of areas from the first half. Ten Hag must have given him a bit of a rocket at half time because the football actually was provably miles better. And it's been a while since we've seen United level it up from half time. We went through a bit of a habit of coming out in the second half and looking worse, and that was a bit of a worrying sign. So this is a nice change from that. We pressed better. We made quick decisions on the ball. We didn't really sort of labour too much, which we were doing a little bit in the first half, and we squeezed a little bit on a bit of a broken Luton side and made them pay. And there was a big emphasis on trying to build out again. We did see that 4-2, 2-4 sort of build up that we've spoken about once again. It's obvious that is what he's trying to implement, and that is what I thought gave us that little bit more control. I'm going to do a video on that this week, and I'll get the tactics board out, and we'll really break that down. Drop a like, leave a comment if you would like to see that. I think I'm going to do it, though. The last 10 minutes were shaky, as inevitably happens when you've only got a 1-goal cushion. But I did feel like we were at least a little bit more in control and a little bit more assured and a little bit more actually assured. We're in control, but it was nervy. I think that would be fair to say, wouldn't it? Like, it's a fragile control that we've got at the moment. And the reason it's fragile is like we can barely trust this team to keep a lead. So you are going to see this United team crumble occasionally. But as said, it is what it is. Number 4, Mount looked better. And actually, a substitution worked, and it was bringing Mount in. And actually, I thought that was a very, very good decision. There wasn't a lot coming from Eriksen off the ball. I think he's our best footballer, but it's probably fairly easy to look this good when you're going to be given so much of the ball like you are against Luton. And United needed a little bit more industry. And Mason Mount turned the heat up on that Luton side. And they were always going to be a sort of team that struggles against a press. So you want to put it on them when they've got the ball, make them make mistakes, take it off them, recycle it back to the people who can go and hurt them. And Mason Mount did that fantastically. He pressed very well. He got the majority of things that he was doing right in that sense. And he didn't give up even if he was the one that made a mistake. And it was infectious because you've seen him doing it, and it leads to Højlund doing it as well. And that was good. And it's a little bit comedic that not giving up gets you a well done in this United side. But it kind of does. It is. And then number 5, and I think this is perhaps a wider issue that we'll probably explore a little bit over the next couple of weeks, with it being international break, is Varane done? So much has been made of Varane's absence in the team, and it is definitely worth us talking about. Missed the first 71 minutes of action yesterday, and he gets a cameo in it. Why? There's been talk of illness, there's been talk of injury, but there hasn't been any confirmation about what either of those things are. Is it unhappiness? There were talks that he's not having Erik Ten Hag, or he's another one that's fell out with him. Is it something to do with that? Is it that he's not doing it? Because I'd be surprised if he's not doing it, because when he's played, I think he's looked really, really good this season. But something isn't there. You know, he did make a mistake in Copenhagen, I think that would be fair to say. And that was doing something he's, been very acclaimed for, which is building out from the back. Hard to judge what's going on right now. And the speculation, I mean, people just put one and one together and go, him and Casemiro going Saudi. The crazy thing is there might be some truth in that. United need to bring in a new centre-half. We need Martinez back, and we need a new centre-half. I've seen that we just got linked with someone. The name escapes me. The kid from Atalanta, I think. We'll be having a look at him later this week for sure. And we'll see what else is out there. Like we said, Todibo, Danso, there's a few out there that are probably worth us looking at. We'll have a look at this kid as well and see what he's about. But Manchester United have to get the defence right. Yes, Lindelof and Maguire had decent games yesterday, but we need better. There's fragilities and weaknesses in both of their games that we can't allow to be our first choice. You know, I don't mind them, either of them coming in for a cameo, or Johnny Evans coming in for a cameo. But this is where I'll scream about standards and say we can do better than those, and we should do better if we can and when you can. There's no point just screaming get a new centre half now. It's middle of November, mate. You can't sign a new centre half now. So let's identify one, and then as soon as the window starts, pull the trigger and get them over the line. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got this far and you haven't subscribed, well, you owe me that. So subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.